I did not give up when I could have. People were telling me that maybe it wasn't a good idea to do this. I was not going to let up. Like, I wanted to believe in myself and show myself that I could deal with this. I don't know if you can ever truly eliminate self-doubt. I think you can maybe quiet the noise a bit, but the minute something doesn't go your way, that self-doubt's going to come right back.
At just 17 years old, she became the youngest woman to win Olympic gold in snowboarding, establishing herself as one of the most dominant athletes in her sport. We have the inspiring Chloe Kim in the house.
My dad later on told me that if I didn't make it by the time I was 13, we wouldn't be able to afford it anymore. The most pressure I felt from them was actually as we got closer to my first Olympics. I had to have a sit down with my parents. It's like, guys, this doesn't feel good.
Really?
This feels really intense. I am so grateful that I got to go through some really intense moments at such a young age, because now I feel like I can get through whatever and accomplish whatever I put my mind to.
And what was the greatest lesson you learned from that experience?
I think grit, like true grit.
Before I had you on here today, we had another snowboarder on. I don't know if you know Amy Purdy.
Love Amy.
And she was just singing your praises, saying how much she loves you.
I love her to death.
And I was like, Amy, if you could ask her one question, about Chloe, what would it be? And she goes, how does she perform under pressure and just look so free? And that was one of the things she was asking about, like, how does she look so free at the highest stages in the world? And I'm curious, how do you perform under pressure and make it look so effortless?
I just made a face when you said that because I feel like I feel the same way about her.
Really?
Yeah. So I feel like the call is coming from within Amy. No, Amy's amazing. She's such an inspiration. She has such an incredible story, and everything she's done for her sport, it's been like so cool.
Yeah.
And she's so cool.
Yeah.
She's so gorgeous and smart.
So
and
kind.
like, yes,
So kind.
it's kind of not fair. Yeah, she's everything to me. I would say for me personally, I don't know. I don't think I think about it too much. I think,
Pressure?
yeah, I mean, obviously I do feel pressure, but I think I need a moment to just sit with myself and recognize that the pressure is actually, I feel like, outside voices, people with expectations and people who want things for me, which is such a blessing in disguise sometimes, but I see it as a blessing. I really appreciate that people believe that I could accomplish all these things. So I think I had to make that mental shift at a pretty young age.
Really?
And kind of recognize that, there's a lot of voices out there, but at the end of the day, it's because, they believe I can do it. So I feel like I have cheerleaders instead of, all these like scary expectations. And I think I kind of, when I started to make that shift, things felt a lot easier and smoother for me.
Do you feel like when you compete, you're not thinking about the pressure then, or is it more about just wanting to have fun?
It's a little bit of both. I love competing. I'm a very competitive person, even outside of my sport, video games, PE was my favorite day at school growing up. And I just loved competing. I loved playing games, like all of it. So it's very rewarding for me when I get to compete in something that I'm really good at. And yeah, but I also do want to have fun. I try to have fun. Transparently, I never wanted to snowboard. That was the sport of my choice.
What was the choice you wanted?
Oh my gosh. Well, I wanted it a lot. I wanted to be a jockey.
A jockey.
I love horses.
Okay.
And I loved just anything horse related. And in my mind, it was like horse racing.
Really?
This is when I was like 3.
Because you grew up in SoCal, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was just always obsessed with horses. My favorite movie growing up was Spirit.
Okay.
I don't know if, your kid, maybe your girls are be obsessed with it
Sure.
one day. But yeah, I really wanted to be a jockey. I really loved figure skating. But my dad was the one that, kind of wanted me to get into a sport. And so when I told him figure skating, he was like, well, what about speed skating or hockey? And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So we started snowboarding.
Right.
Snowboarding was what he, thought.
But you grew up in, was it Torrance you grew up in? Or you grew up SoCal area? Or?
I grew up all over.
All over.
We moved a bunch. So I've lived in Cypress, La Palma, Torrance, La Habra.
Okay.
And then I moved to LA. I lived in Newport for a year, and then I moved to LA.
But you started, was it more in Mammoth where you started really snowboarding then? So you'd go up there and...
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I actually learned in Mountain High, and I always want to give credit to Mountain High. I love it there.
Okay.
Good memes. Good memes, bad memes, crazy memes, all the
All
memes,
of it. But
mountain
that's where it
high.
started.
That's where it started. And then as I started getting better and getting, more serious, we started going to Mammoth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, your dad, you mentioned your dad, and he really started to invest in you early on then, right? With snowboarding. Didn't he leave his career to kind of like go all in with you?
Yeah.
So when you have a parent who's that much of a cheerleader and supporting you,
Mm-hmm.
how did you not also feel the pressure then of like, oh, this needs to work out? Like I need to actually be good and succeed because he's invested his life in this as well.
Yeah, I think that is definitely something that I thought about a lot.
Really?
And m my dad later on told me that if I didn't make it by the time I was 13, like, we wouldn't be able to afford it anymore because my parents invested everything into my sport, which is such a risky decision,
Yeah.
honestly, to make. But I didn't know that, and funny enough, at 13, I started doing really well and started to, you know, kill it in my sport. But I think the most pressure I felt from them was actually as we got closer to my first Olympics, because I think that was the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I finally did it. I qualified for Sochi when I was 13.
Wow.
I don't know if you know this.
Okay.
Was too young to compete.
So you qualified, but you couldn't compete.
Yeah.
That
I qualified in
sucks.
second.
Oh my gosh.
So I wasn't able to go. So I feel like there was so much anticipation that built from that moment. And once I was getting closer, like that 2016-17 season was the scariest season of my life. Just the air every time I walked into the spaces was just so tense and stressful. I feel like everyone's getting really intense, hoping to qualify for the games. Now I'm in contention to qualify for the games. I had to have a sit down with my parents. It's like, guys, this doesn't feel good.
Really?
This feels really intense. Like, I understand that you guys, obviously want this for me, and I do too, but I need a sense of normalcy because everywhere else I go does not feel normal either. So I just need home to feel like home.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of I mean, you were 16 going in 17, I guess, around that time. So
Yeah.
it's almost like, oh, what if I make a mistake or don't qualify or I fall? Then all this like expectation like crumbles, I guess.
Yeah, and I want to say too, into my first games, qualifying was hardcore. Like there still are, really good US snowboarding girls, but like back then it was mostly, US podium sweeps for the most part. Like they were awesome. And so qualifying was really intense because it's almost like you had to bring your A game. Like if you qualified for the Olympics in the US, it was almost just felt like you were guaranteed a medal at that point because they were
Wow.
so good. Yes. And so
it wasn't guaranteed. It wasn't like, oh, this is going to be easy.
no, I knew I had a good shot because I was podiuming consistently, but I've never experienced that type of pressure and like that type of expectation before. And so I remember like going into all my runs for the qualifying events. So a little more about the qualification process. All right.
Tell me.
Okay. So basically it's the season before the Olympics. I might be completely wrong, but there's somewhere, but I think it's 4 or 5 events. And basically it's the top 4 girls based on all those events. So the best way to guarantee a spot is to like win a couple of them. Or
Top
at least
4 go?
podium.
Top 4?
Top 4.
If USA, yeah.
Yes. Top 4 go. And based on your results in those events, I think they take like the top 3 results or something, and then they average them out, and then that's how they decide who goes. So you kind of have to be awesome for at least 3 events.
Right. Over like a 6-month window, or is that like a year, or how long is that?
No, it's like a 2-month window.
Oh man. So if you mess up in 2 months, you're done.
Yeah. So it's like you start the season being like, okay, like I might go to the Olympics, and it's like, boom, it's over. And then people are going to the Olympics. It's so fast. It's back to back. I think the first qualification event's in December, like early December, and then the rest of them are low-key in January. And then we go
and
to
you
the
leave
games
like a couple weeks later.
in
Wow.
February. Yeah. So it's really intense.
How did you feel going into this recent Olympics then? Because you were injured.
Yeah.
Like how was you
feel good.
You didn't feel good because you'd previously won 2 gold medals, but then you're going into this next Olympics a little injured, not feeling good, like you said. How do you stay confident and also not let the fear of the pressure, or what if I fail, or what if my injury holds me back, or the expectations of the world now?
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
I mean, it was tough. I think that was definitely a really hard moment. Probably one of the more difficult things I've had to navigate in my career.
Yeah.
I've been so blessed and fortunate to go into every single games completely healthy. And luckily, I had actually qualified for the games the season prior.
So you didn't have that stress.
I didn't need to qualify that
That's
season,
good.
which was great.
That's great. Yeah.
Awesome.
But you got to be healthy.
Exactly. And so, the plan was, okay, I'm not going to compete that much this season. I'm going to just train for the games and then go. And that's what I did going into Beijing as well. But unfortunately, the first training camp I had planned in the winter, that's when it happened, like the second or third day. So I had no reps going into this.
Wow.
Came straight back home, rehabbed as much as I could. Because it wasn't necessarily a pain issue. It was more that my shoulder kept coming out. And if your shoulder comes out, there's like not much you can do. Yes, you can pop it back in, but it will just keep coming out.
Is this your left shoulder or your right?
Yeah, my left shoulder. And so it was one of those things where I think I spent a week, maybe 10 days here in LA doing my rehab and then trying to get back on snow as soon as possible to get a little reps in.
It's also probably the fear of if I fall and hurt the shoulder, like the damage that could have too, right?
Exactly.
And I don't want to get hurt before I go into the games.
Totally. But I had already come up with a plan in my mind that was maybe insane, but I was like,
What was that?
Well, if it comes out, just put it back in.
Okay.
Let's just pop it back in. It's fine.
It wasn't painful?
Like, yeah, it hurts, but like also
Put it back in. You're an athlete. Yeah.
I live in a world of pain. Like I am always in pain.
Yeah,
so let's just add this to the list of things that hurt. But no, I think I was like, all right, well, we'll just pop it back in. I'll do everything I can. We'll get a brace. But the most annoying thing was just that I had to relearn how to do all my tricks without this arm.
Because you really need to like use the force of it, right?
Yeah. And
so how did you do that?
To like hyperextend it almost, and that's when it's the most vulnerable. Like when I'm throwing my tricks, I need all my arms.
Because you're really swinging in the air.
I'm literally doing the most, like flailing, like twisting, all of it.
Because people watching might think, oh, it's actually a lot of twisting of like the hips, which I guess it is.
It is.
But you need the wind up with the upper body as well, right? Interesting.
Yeah. So it was really hard. So the very limited days I had on snow, I just had to like try to relearn how to do all my tricks.
With one arm.
With one arm. And it's so disappointing because it's almost annoying. I almost wish that it was this kind of dark, but I had almost wished that it was a more serious injury, if that makes sense, because then it was just clear that like I couldn't do it or like but this whole gray area was really rough for me to navigate because I'm like, I feel fine. I feel like I can do this, but my shoulder comes out in the middle of my run. There's nothing I can do. I have to stop. So that's where it's really frustrating. And that's also where it was frustrating because I felt like people wouldn't understand what that was like either.
Yeah. And I don't know did you ever have the fear of like, okay, I'm going 50 feet in the air. And if I fall on it, then also the pain of that, I might be done, I guess, if it's already vulnerable.
Yeah.
For me, I'd be afraid of that.
I was never one to worry about pain. Okay. Again, like I've had chronic back pain since I was 15, so it's not a big deal. It was just more inconvenient for me, I think is the best way to put it.
So how do you navigate that? I guess, how do you visualize before going out for a run at the Olympics when you're uncertain if you can actually complete the run?
I think it's hard. Like mentally, there's always this little voice in your head that's like, all right, well, this could happen.
Really?
Prepare yourself for that. I did the best that I could. I knew that I was at a severe disadvantage because everyone else has ridden all winter long, and I'm coming in. I think the night of the final was my 8th day on snow.
Wow.
Total. So
in like 6 months or something.
Right. Yeah. So it's like I'm not where I could be, but I'm also dealing with this, which is part of the sport. I'm just gonna do my best and whatever. That's what I had to get to, just like whatever.
So what is the mental rehearsal that you have then, either, the morning of, an hour before or right before, to eliminate the self-doubt?
I think that's interesting, and I'm curious to see what our listeners will think, but I don't know if you can ever truly eliminate self-doubt. I think you can talk yourself up to, maybe quiet the noise a bit, but the minute something doesn't go your way, that self-doubt's gonna come right back.
Yeah.
And so it is hard to truly get rid of it. And I think that's just normal too. It's like natural, human brains and minds. We're kind of like always fearful of the unknown. And that's where I was at too. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I didn't doubt myself at all. I felt so confident. That's not the case. But I think I kind of have to sit there and remind myself that I have to rely on muscle memory.
Yes.
Muscle memory is going to be my best friend here. And I'm just going to hope for the best. Maybe things won't go my way. That's okay. I feel really fortunate to be in a position in my career where I've accomplished everything under the sun and more. And so I didn't feel like really strongly about, winning, if that makes
Really?
sense.
So you weren't really concerned, like if I get the gold or if I don't get any medals, you were going to be okay.
My goal was to get a medal.
Right. And you did it.
I did it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you.
You did it.
I did it, and that was really challenging in itself because there's so much new talent. I've been doing this for over 10 years professionally, I'm 26 now.
And you've won everything.
I've won everything multiple times.
X Games, World Championship, Olympic gold, multiple times.
Multiple times. And I think I'm really grateful to have had that experience. I've done it all. There literally isn't a single thing I want.
You feel complete.
Which feels funny, and I kind of got to that place in my early 20s.
That's incredible.
So I feel like this past one, I just wanted to have fun. Just wanted to enjoy it. Obviously this didn't make it as enjoyable as it could have been, but I think I enjoyed every minute of it.
That's
and there's
beautiful.
not a thing I would change.
Really?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like, your goal was to get a medal. It didn't matter if it was any medal.
Yeah.
But you've won multiple golds.
Yeah.
So was there anything inside of you that was like, okay, I got a silver, but it wasn't the gold? Was there any part of you that felt like maybe, I don't know, that was let down in any way?
Yeah. I think that there's always going to be a sentiment of disappointment. Of course, this is again something that I've trained for 3 years going into it. So I'm also not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, I'm fine with that. But I think it's important to be kind to yourself in these moments and give yourself that reminder that I also wasn't coming into this games like I had the 2 other times. I can't.
Yeah, healthy and fully ready. And
right. And going into the other games, I had 2-3 months of training under my belt going into the games. And I go into my 3rd one with 8 days, period.
Crazy.
That, it's not fair for me to, yes, I can dream and yes, I can hope. But if we're going to be realistic, it's going to be very, very difficult. And I am going to need some sort of miracle here,
And you gave your best. And so your mind, you're like.
Best. Yes. And also I want to say the first 2 days I had training, because now we have to count the days. The first 2 days I had to learn to not get scared of snowboarding again.
Yeah, not falling.
Which is a lot. And then day 3, it's I'm throwing myself as hard as I can to do all my tricks that I hadn't done in so long.
And thinking of your routines and what you're going to do. Yeah.
Right. I haven't done my run. I haven't learned my tricks back with it. Now I have to do it with one arm. It's hectic. There's yes, winning is awesome. But being able to show up on such short notice and just do what I could is something that I've never done before. And I think at the end of the day, though it wasn't the outcome that, maybe I would have hoped for and everyone else would have hoped for, I still walked away with a very valuable lesson that I don't think I could have learned in any other way.
And what was the greatest lesson you learned from that experience?
I think grit, true grit. I did not give up when I could have. People were telling me that maybe it wasn't a good idea to do this. I was not going to let up. I wanted to believe in myself and show myself that I could deal with this and I could I could make something out of this. And going to the Olympics is such an honor and a privilege in itself. And I, still had the best result out of the U.S. women's. I really think I accomplished so much more in a way because, yeah, I don't know. I know if I were healthy and it was, I had all the reps.
You would have crushed it. You would have,
I would have done exactly what I wanted to do. I had to do such a chill version of what I was planning to do and prepping to do. So, yeah. That's where I'm at with that.
The grit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like being at peace knowing that like, okay, I could have won if I was healthier, if I had a full season to train. I knew I could have done. You've already done it before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what I'm hearing you say is like learning how to stick through it with the uncertainty, with the pain, with having to learn my routine on 8 days.
Yeah.
And having fun and being positive and knowing that I may win or lose.
Yeah.
That's the real lesson. That's what I'm hearing you say.
That's the real lesson. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful way to articulate.
Now, I'm curious. I'm a big fan of just psychology and sports psychology, really how to prepare yourself mentally for competition so that you can enjoy the most of it as well.
Yeah.
Is there any sports psychology you've learned over the years or picked up, whether it be like inner game tricks on breath work, meditation, mindset, visualization, or anything else that has supported you in believing in yourself and being ready and prepared for competition? Or have you just been a badass since the womb? You just came out and you're just like, I can do this, no problem.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I actually recently got diagnosed with ADHD.
Okay.
Like last week.
Okay. Last week?
Yeah, and everything made sense.
Tell me more.
Wow. I definitely had like just this, I was very impulsive. And it was funny because when I was meeting with my psychiatrist, we were like walking through the list of symptoms and I was like, I have every single one of those symptoms, but it was masked so well in my sport because I think in a way it helped me,
Your ADHD helped you in sports?
Yes.
How so?
Well, because I couldn't focus, but with snowboarding, that was like the thing I could really lock in on.
Because you got to be in the flow on the slopes. You can't be distracted in the air.
Yeah, and I wasn't. I was so focused when I had my snowboard attached to my feet, like tunnel vision.
You're in the zone.
In the zone. And I feel like, another symptom I had was just chronic exhaustion. So after snowboarding, like I didn't want to go hang out with friends. Like I didn't want to go out. Like I just wanted to rest. And so I feel like when I was on snow, all I did was snowboard and recover, snowboard, recover, snowboard, recover. And I also feel like I never really experienced fear. Like I wasn't really like scared of trying tricks. And I have a very vivid just imagination. So I feel like if I wanted to try a trick, I could visualize it before, without even doing it.
Really?
If I watched videos of other people doing it, I could like gauge what they would be seeing. And that was always fun because then I'd go try it and I would see what I thought I would see.
And you didn't have fear that you would fall or hurt yourself or not make it or?
No.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Huh.
Yeah. So that I would say that's maybe my one superpower that I had in my sport was just I was always ready to go hug myself.
It's fearless. But do you think that the ADHD helped you become fearless or is it just part of it?
I think it kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like because my mind was always so occupied and busy, I'm always thinking, and, snowboarding being my sport, it was always about snowboarding for the most part. And so I feel like I've thought about everything snowboarding related, and then I would just always think about how I could be better at that because that was the one thing I could focus on. So if I had a bad day in training, I'd come back home and really just like think about where it went wrong, what I need to try, different things that I could try. Like I would just hyper analyze and focus on that.
Is this like watching videos of yourself doing this or watching other videos of other people and seeing how you could make this happen in your mind or how?
Or like maybe remember seeing what I was seeing when I was training and then trying to like alter that and correct that.
In your mind?
In my mind.
So not watching video and doing this, but like a mental rehearsal.
Mental rehearsal, nonstop, obsessive, nonstop. My mind is so loud. So it did affect my sleep in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Would you be thinking about this all in bed at night, like just rehearsing tricks in your mind?
Yeah, like whenever I had a moment.
Interesting.
Because I'm competitive. I want to go out there the next day and get it right. I also hate wasting time. So I'm like, all right, I have 2 more weeks here. Also, sport being weather dependent.
Right.
I'm like, okay, there's 2 sunny days. I need to lock in and get this done on these sunny days.
Interesting.
So what can I do right now to prepare for tomorrow?
This message is brought to you by Apple and Verizon. And if you scroll enough online, you'll hear it all. Miracle diets, fitness trends, crazes like celery juice and cold plunges, you name it. But with iPhone and Apple Watch, you get meaningful insights from a very trusted source, your body, because the information you get should reflect the body you're in. With Apple Watch, you can track things like your sleep quality, your cycle, your cardio fitness, and more. You can then unpack all the information on Apple iPhone on the Health app, which allows you to track and view your data over time. And all these health insights are developed with experts from start to finish. Find out more at apple.com/health. Apple Watch is not a medical device and should not be used as a substitute for professional medical advice. Do you feel like the constraints of not having snow year-round actually allowed you to be better than if you had the ability to practice, every week all year round?
I mean, you still can practice every week all
I
year
guess,
round.
but you were
Fun,
living here, I guess. But
Yeah. But, when I first started going pro, I would go to New Zealand. I would go to
Switzerland,
like go on Mountain Hood in Oregon, like always on snow. I'd maybe get a month off each year.
Got it.
But then I got to a point where
It's
it started
exhausting
catching
too.
up to me.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah, I remember when I turned 20, I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, it hurts. I also went to college for a year, so I feel like when I came back from that, I was like, wait, there's so many things I'm interested in, and it's sad that I don't get to experience those things.
Yeah.
Like, I want to give myself a little more time to become a whole person and not just snowboard.
Yeah. Not just the greatest snowboarder of all time, but someone else that also has a life.
Yeah, I would love to have a life, seemingly. I don't know. Just, there are other things that I love and I'm very passionate about. And I feel like I started to realize that when I was at school, actually, and started meeting people that had nothing to do with sports, action sports in general, but were just so smart and passionate about other things in their lives and were working towards those things.
Yeah.
I wanted that too. And I feel like I'd already accomplished it in snowboarding. And I think naturally I developed some curiosity for the other sides of the world and the other sides of things that, maybe I could experience.
Yeah.
And so after that awakening, I'll call it, I was like, I don't think I can travel this much anymore. I want to, because I also recognize that I am not going to snowboard forever. And I think when I was at school, I had this scary realization of, what am I going to do after?
Right.
What am I going to do?
Who am I after sports?
Exactly. And I feel like I wanted to nurture that when I was still, a teenager, 20, 19, 20. So I started taking more time for myself. I stopped going to New Zealand and all these places. And I would start training, like mid-fall as opposed to starting in midsummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And also, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I also heard you never really worked out. You didn't like working out in the gym.
Yeah.
But we actually met in the gym.
I
And you're working out.
I know.
When did that, through Roy, so shout out to Roy, but when did you start working out or, enjoying it or liking that process?
I mean, I still don't like.
Yeah, it's still hard.
It's still hard.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be eating.
Sure. Yeah, sugar, candy all day.
Eating brunch, with my girls instead of being at the gym for an hour. But I think, so when we first met, when was that?
Probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay.
Is that kind of when you started?
That's when I started being more consistent.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did you decide from never working out or not working out that much, except for on the slopes, which is a workout, but going to the gym and working out, I guess, different types of working out?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to take that on?
Well, it was my fitness journey is definitely a journey. So let's talk about it. So I think after the first Olympics, 2018, some people were telling me that maybe I should look into a trainer because I had partially torn my ACL when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know, I just wasn't that strong in that leg. And so obviously, okay, let's work out and hit the gym. Cool. Met a trainer through Nike. That's also how I met Vinny, was through this trainer. And I just like wasn't really consistent. Like I would do it for a bit and then I wouldn't,
Stop,
and then
yeah.
I'd do it. Yeah. But I'm like, oh, I'm still young and like I want to have fun during the summers. Like
Yeah.
I didn't really learn time management well yet, like schedules and structure. So then COVID happened. I went to school and then COVID happened into going into my spring semester. And I put on a lot of weight when I was at college.
Really?
But like whatever. But then COVID hit and we doubled down.
Uh,
Yeah, it was bad.
you double down on the weight gain?
Yeah.
Or really?
Yeah.
Just like
It was
eating
like eating, chilling, not going
yeah,
outside.
yeah, of course.
And then I think that's also when I started to work with Roy.
Mm.
It was like during COVID, like the
2021,
like
2022. So yeah.
2021, I think. And then I went back to snowboarding and it hurt. Like, oh my gosh.
Really?
Yes, because I gained 40 pounds.
Come on.
Yeah, so I was
40 pounds of muscle though, right? You know,
Mm.
you were.
I wish. I really wish. But yeah, so I was sitting at, 40 pounds heavier than I was the last time I snowboarded, and it hurt.
Just like the recovery, or I mean, being on the slopes or landing or
No,
all of
'cause,
it.
and I think that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old because this hurts for the first time. But when you think about it,
You were like 20s.
I know.
You weren't
I
old.
should be fine. But it'd be like if I fall on my butt kind of hard, I'd be bedridden for a week.
Really?
Because, we fall from pretty high.
You're like 30, 40 feet in the air, I feel like.
Yeah, because the wall's 22 feet. So then
That is
you add how
crazy.
much you go from there and then you fall. It's like a lot.
When I go snowboarding and I jump like 3 feet, I'm like scared to fall. If I do a 180, I'm like, I don't want to hurt myself.
I know.
You're going so high.
So high and doing all these spins and falling a lot. And it just really felt like I was getting beat up. Then I somehow made it to Beijing, but I was still, carrying extra weight on me. And after that season, I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is so painful. It makes me never want to do this again.
It's not enjoyable, huh?
It's not. It's so hard.
Yeah.
And I don't like being in this much pain. I'm used to pain, but this is excessive.
Yes.
Over something so small. We fall on our butts all the time. And the fact that I couldn't handle it was just really hard for me.
Yeah.
And so that's when I just locked in. After Beijing, I just locked in and I was like, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to go every morning. Like, I'm really going to stick to this. I'm going to start jogging. Roy got me onto jogging, started doing Pilates, and I feel great. Yeah.
You look fit.
Thank you.
Yeah, we met in the gym. I saw you there a few different times and I was like, yeah, she's fit.
Yeah.
She's shaped, strong.
Yes, I love it so much.
Wow.
And I think now I feel good like after a workout. So I enjoy how I feel afterwards.
Yeah, but getting there and starting,
Getting there is rough.
Yeah.
You know when he has a start on the bike, that's rough. Yeah.
Roll your feet on the thing first and then go on the bike. What how do you feel getting in the gym the last 4 years supported you physically for this time around at the Olympics then?
I think that if I hadn't put that much work in, I don't think I would have been able to come back in the way I did.
Really?
Yeah. Because, people will still compete in their respective sports with injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you need like expedited rehab to get you there, for something like the Olympics or like a really important game or whatever. I think the reason why a lot of athletes are able to do that and have such a quick turnaround is because they put in the work before. Our muscles do protect us from a lot of things. I have a partially torn ACL, and so I got my legs really strong, and now everything's supported because my legs are strong. I have a thing with my shoulder, my arms are strong, so like it can just support it a bit more than if I didn't have all those, just put all that time into it. And I think that overall, I just feel healthier. Like I feel like I'm not in as much pain as I typically would be after a season. Because even one trip to snow, you get pretty banged up.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that when I come home, like, yes, I'm sore, but I can bounce back pretty quickly and find, just peace and painlessness pretty quickly. Yeah.
I mean, now that, when was was it a couple months ago that the Olympics ended, right?
Yeah.
A couple months ago. Now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of reflect, what's the vision for the next few years for you? And you've accomplished everything, like you said, you accomplished your goal this time around. is it trying to create new experiences in life? Are you still trying to train? Like, what's next for your sports career?
I think, I like to give myself time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I still haven't fully settled
Yeah.
because we are so busy post Olympics, just
Interviews and
all over the
other thing. Yeah.
place. Yeah, so I feel like I'm still in the midst of the chaos, but
You're still in the Olympics almost.
yeah, I'm still there.
Uh,
Yeah. But I don't so yeah, I don't know.
you're not
I
sure.
don't
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, and I don't think I need to know
Yeah.
anytime soon. I feel
That's
like I
good.
have time to make decisions,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like there's a lot of, like, big decisions that are gonna
Mm-hmm.
need to be made, and I also wanna honor that I am a person outside of this too, and I wanna continue to nurture that side of myself,
Yeah.
and so I'm, again, really blessed to be in a position where there's not something else I want really
Mm-hmm.
badly enough to where I'm gonna have tunnel vision and just lock in on
Mm-hmm.
that one thing. I think now I'm in a position where I can kind of do what feels right
That's
for
great.
me
Yeah.
and makes sense.
Yeah. I've been watching some of your content, just of you talking about your interests outside of sports, and
Mhm.
you talking about your relationship a lot more online and sharing photos of you guys. I'm curious, what's the biggest lesson that he's taught you through this journey, as he's top in the world of what he does?
Yeah.
And shout out Cleveland Browns, but I'm from Ohio. But is there any lesson that he's taught you through this journey from one elite athlete to another?
First of all, so inspirational.
Mhm.
It's been really fun to be by his side and support
Yeah.
him and watch him do all of these amazing things. He's the most deserving.
Hmm.
He works so hard,
Hard.
and I think that's definitely a big takeaway.
Hmm.
So consistent, like, he's always working his butt off no matter what. Sick when sometimes he's, like, so sick. I remember one time he was, like, coughing all night, did not get much sleep, still shows up, goes to the gym, does his ridiculously hard 2-hour workout. The only trade-off is he'll take, like, a 6-hour nap
He's
after,
like, I'm out. Yeah, yeah.
but he's
Sleeping,
getting everything he needs to do first, and then he's,
sleeping, body work, everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I am not doing this. I need to be babied. I need someone to take care of me.
If I'm coughing, I'm sleeping. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's
So
interesting.
that's something I really admire about
So
him.
he's very disciplined no matter what.
So disciplined, so stubbornly disciplined.
Wow.
Like, there are moments where I'm like, maybe don't push yourself so hard. Like, you slept for 2 hours. Like, this can't be good for you. He's like, no, I gotta go.
He wants to be great.
And now I'm like, do your thing,
Wow.
lesson learned.
So that mindset, but it seems like he has a lot of fun too with you. I mean, at least like what's the looks
He
like for you
does,
guys.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun because we have so many things in common, so it's
Yeah,
really easy,
that's
and I
cool.
feel like us both being athletes, we get each other too.
Mhm.
There are a lot of times I'm like, "Yeah, you're good. Do
Yeah,
your thing.
yeah.
Got it. Like, you're good."
So when was the first time you won a big competition? What year was that? Or how old were you?
I think I've won multiple big competitions for the first time. Like, the first big competition I won, was, like, for the youth division.
Uh-huh.
I was 9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
cool. It was my first international competition,
Wow.
and, yeah, I was, like, 15 and under was the age.
And you won at 9?
Yeah.
You beat 15-year-olds? That's crazy. Wow.
I know.
So that was what? Is that 15 years ago? 15, 16 years ago? Like
Yeah,
your
it was
first big competition that you won?
Yeah.
Right? International level?
years ago.
If you could go back and speak to, 9-year-old Chloe with
Mhm.
all the wisdom and lessons you've learned,
Yeah.
knowing everything you're going to accomplish over the last 15, 16 years,
Yeah.
what wisdom or advice would you share with her if she was sitting right across from you?
I feel like this is a very common question, and I love the idea I love the idea. At the same time, though, I don't think I would say anything.
Okay.
And I think that's also a very common response.
Sure, yeah.
Because, not that it's a bad question or
Uh-huh,
anything.
yeah.
I think it's more so just I became who I am because of everything I experienced in the way that I did.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would change anything about my journey to get here. I think everything that I endured, whether it be amazing or incredibly difficult, was all meant to be. And I
Yes.
think that's how I learned to navigate such difficult moments in my life.
Hmm.
I think sport is one of the greatest lessons.
Yes, it is.
And, I am so grateful that I got to grow in a sport and go through some really intense moments at such a young age,
Yeah.
because now I feel like I can get through whatever and accomplish whatever I put my mind to. Yeah.
That's beautiful. What's the biggest lesson your dad taught you from all those years of supporting and coaching and encouraging and investing in time to support you in accomplishing your dreams and goals as well?
My dad's taught me a lot, and I think very common in Asian families, but dads typically tend to be a bit more emotionally distant, and that's where we butt heads the most.
Really?
Yeah, because I would just be having a bad day, whatever, and he would just be so frustrating to me. And like, my dad's such a talker. He loves talking. Like, if you run into him on the street and say we know each other, like, he will talk to you for hours. So much to say. But I think my dad he taught me, it's a good question. He's taught me so much. Is there anything that really stands out in that way? I think he just taught me how to be, he taught me what support, like the true definition of love and just support as a parent. Just blindly trusting that this is going to work, that we're going to do everything we can on our end to make this happen. And like, he's going to love and support me unconditionally, even though some days he's spending all this money to send me off to training and I had a terrible time training. Always just like believe that it's going to work out some way, shape, or form, and that he's going to support me until the very end, until we go completely broke. Which was when I was going to be 13.
And then you started making some money and started working out. Yeah.
Now we're moving. Now like now we can like buy tickets for planes.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Now I'm a new dad. I have twin girls, 5.5 months old. Is there any advice you have for me, for being the best father I can be to young girls who have their own dreams and hopes and goals? Any advice you'd give to me or any other fathers out there who have daughters?
My advice to you, as someone with no kids,
As someone who had sounds like a father that was really encouraging. And I'm sure it wasn't perfect all the time. And it was like, maybe he was hard or whatever. But from what you experienced with your father, any advice of what to do, what not to do, or encouragement for fathers out there?
I would say just to be as present as possible. Honestly, I think experience is the greatest teacher. And we can't sit here and be like, well, support them. Like, that could mean different to your daughters. That could mean something entirely different to you. But I think you have to be open to learning and growing and evolving with them and just being present, and just being there.
Do you feel like your dad was pretty present most of the time, or was he just driven on you accomplishing and getting better mostly?
I think he was, my dad also definitely has ADHD.
He's all over the place too.
He's like all over the place, but he always showed up.
Yeah.
And he is the most reliable person in my life. I'll call him, and if I'm washing my hands on FaceTime and he hears the sink make a funny sound, he's like, I'm coming over tomorrow afternoon to fix that.
Oh, that's
Sounds
cool.
like the water's like weird. I think he always is similar to me, and I feel like I kind of took this from him, but before I was obsessively thinking about how to be a better snowboarder, he was doing that for me. And so he'd always come up with cool new ideas. My dad recognized one time randomly that, so I'm goofy, right?
Which people means, what does it mean for people that don't?
Yeah,
You're silly in life too.
I'm goofy. No, so goofy in snowboarding means that your right foot is forward.
Yeah.
But my dad felt like if my back arm was flailing while I was snowboarding, it would make me really unstable.
If your left arm was flailing.
Like my back arm.
Yeah.
So my dad attached this like little tennis keychain. It was a little ball on my pants. And he made me hold that while I was snowboarding and doing tricks, pretty much.
That's interesting.
And so now when I snowboard, but it worked. Like, my arms are very stable.
As opposed to like out here.
It's like flailing around out there.
And that's what he used to do.
Yeah.
And that's what he used to do.
Yeah. So it
Wow.
works. My dad was an engineer, so he has this engineer mind, and
That's
he's always
cool.
thinking
That's
all these
cool.
things. And he also, this is before it was common. So when I started doing well in competitions, is because I became really good at riding switch. So switch means I'm riding in the opposite
Yeah.
way. So now my left foot is forward,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is unnatural to me.
So hard. Every time I switch into goofy, I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna fall every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got good at riding both sides.
Yeah. So my dad would make me, he'd get mad when I didn't do it because it was so important to him. And in hindsight, for me as a snowboarder now, to be good at riding switch. So whenever I was getting on the chairlift, it had to be switch. Whenever I was riding down to the half pipe, had to be switch. Everything had to be switch. I had to like do a whole day in the half pipe, just switch, going off all the jumps, switch, doing everything I could switch. Because he really wanted me to get good at riding switch. And he recognized before I did that switch riding is going to be really, really helpful for me.
Huge. Oh, it's gonna be huge, right?
Mhm.
And now it's like you have to like reverse almost to be good.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
it gets you more points, right?
Yes. Yes, so back then, though, no one was really doing that, except for the Sochi gold medalist, Caitlin Farrington. She was really good at spinning backside and was really good at riding switch.
And you were what, 13 then? Is that
Uh-huh.
right? So he was like, you need to start doing this in order. He
Oh,
really saw the
yeah,
future.
he saw me do it way before then, though.
Wow.
Mhm.
But he saw the future like, okay, when you're 16, when you're 20, when you're 24, if you're not doing this, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
Or this will give you a greater chance.
Yeah.
That's some great vision from your
Right?
father.
Yeah. So we definitely butt heads a lot because to me, I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, I should just be working on bigger tricks in my natural way. But he was like, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got to listen to your dad sometimes, right? Even if you didn't want to.
And I do. Yeah. I mean, now we have a much better relationship.
Yeah.
I think after the first Olympics, he was kind of able to let me go. He definitely was a tiger parent.
Really?
1,000%. Again, I didn't want to snowboard. Like, that wasn't my sport. So I kind of just did it and,
You did it because he wanted you to do it.
Pretty much.
But at least he was showing up with you all those times, right? He was like, he had to be on the slopes with you.
Exactly.
So you're spending some, I guess, quality time together too. You're spending a lot of,
Yeah.
but he was on top of you.
Yeah. My dad was a very intense person. So it was hard. It's hard. I definitely have some trauma, but we're in such a good place now that
That's
I
good.
think as I reflect, whether it be in therapy or on my own, I am really grateful for him.
Yeah.
I think, at the end of the day, regardless of how much you love somebody, you can still hurt them, and we definitely hurt each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think very forgiving. Like, I understand where he's coming
Yeah.
from. Like, could he have been a little better? Absolutely, but I can't hold that against him.
Yeah. But he also helped you become the greatest of all time. So that's
exactly.
Yeah. And you didn't ruin he didn't ruin the relationship, which is good. I'm curious. You've mentioned therapy. You talked to a psychologist before. I've worked with sports psychologists. I've worked with different therapists over the years for my own personal healing journey. What is the biggest lessons you've learned through therapy and starting to create awareness around having ADHD and your own healing experience?
Mm-hmm. I think I started really actually going to therapy. I think it's been almost 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't sport related, but I tried to go to, see sports psychologists and whatnot to get better in my sport. But I was getting kind of frustrated because it just felt like you guys don't know what I'm talking about. So I don't really want to sit here and explain everything to you. Because I feel like if I have to explain it to you, you don't understand.
Yeah.
And I'm paying you to
you're not trusting the answer.
Right. I don't trust you at all. And so I was like, okay, maybe I need therapy. And the reason for therapy wasn't sport related. It was mainly because I felt that it just felt like I wasn't being a good person.
In life.
Like
friends, family, press, or like
friends, family, relationships, all of it. I just felt like I was not showing up in the way that I should. And I think that made me very concerned because my intentions are always good. Like, I always want to be a good person, but sometimes it was so hard to be that. And
did someone confront you and say, hey, you're really not showing up for me, or you're kind of like got a bad attitude every time you're around me? Or is it more an internal, I'm really, I saw someone was hurt or whatever? Like, how did you come to this?
I think it was a combination because I think that everyone in my life is so kind and so supportive and so giving and genuine. And I think that, they also were very understanding that I'm experiencing a lot. They see how busy my life is. They see how much pressure, people are putting onto me. They're seeing all of it.
And you're so young at the time. You're 20,
Exactly.
21, whatever it is. Yeah.
Very unstable. Definitely very unstable person.
Well, you're trying to figure out your life. Like,
Exactly.
I didn't start figuring things out till my early 30s.
Yeah.
And it was like, you really don't know who you are. You're as a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
And you have all this pressure and everyone's asking you questions. Like,
Yeah. So really grateful for everyone being so understanding. But I think for me, I would also catch it. Catch it, be like, damn, I don't think that was nice. Damn, like I don't think I should have handled things that way, but it was so hard for me to recognize that in the moment, like stop myself from getting there. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to go to therapy. And I love my therapist. She's great. Awesome. Love catching up with her. And we made a lot of progress, like a lot of progress with my mentality, like the way that I expressed myself. It was a lot of hard work. I was seeing her 3 times a week.
I've been there. I've done that before, 3 times a week, or like 5 hours on a weekend.
Yeah.
You got to go all
emergencies.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, like I know it's 11, but like, oof, girl, I need you.
Yeah.
So shout out to her for showing up for me always. But the ADHD, I just felt like, I have been working on myself for 2 years, not expecting a full 180 in 2 years, but it still feels like a lot of time and like a lot of sessions. And she's great. And I feel like I'm being very receptive and I'm doing my best and I can recognize the changes that I've made through our sessions. However, there's this one little thing that wouldn't quite go away. And it was, I just like was a very reactive person.
Like if you were triggered by something, you would react.
Boom.
Explode.
Like
how would this be? You'd scream, you'd say something you didn't like, you would walk away.
Like I would feel it, like I would get so hot, like so warm, so like I don't know, like maybe see red kind of vibes, but not really. Like I would never hurt anyone.
Sure.
But
you'd feel it.
Just feel my heart starts racing, like my mind is going a million miles an hour. I'm thinking about all these things. And I hated that because I always wanted to be calm, understanding, logical, assess the situation before, having any type of reaction. But I couldn't even do that. It was like instant boom. I don't like that. That triggered me. Blah.
You say whatever you said. Yeah. Or you do something or you walk away or whatever.
Yeah. And like, I'm not breaking stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like, very upset. And I didn't like that. And so I just felt like it was more than like I felt like it was too big of an issue for me to wait another 2-3 years for it to get better. If that makes sense.
Because it wasn't getting better by itself.
It wasn't getting, like, I think if I wasn't good at communicating or like expressing my emotions, outside of a really like triggering environment, that, okay, we can take the 2 to 5 years to work on that.
Yeah.
But like me feeling enraged in that way is not something I want to work towards for another 3 years.
Wow.
So
you were like, I need this to happen now. I need to resolve this.
Because I didn't like how I felt after. It made me really sad because it's regret. But I just felt like there was nothing I could do to get out of that in those moments. So saw a psychiatrist. And mind you, these wouldn't happen often.
Sure.
That's another thing. Like it wasn't like
screaming every day.
I'm, like freaking out every day. No.
Of course.
But like I like structure, I like consistency, I like all of that. And so when all of those things would fall through, like I would start feeling it.
Yeah.
So I saw a psychiatrist and he was like, wow, so you have like severe ADHD. It's severe. And you also have depression and anxiety. But he was like, your ADHD is so severe. Let's regulate that first because the depression and the anxiety can also be caused by the ADHD.
Okay.
So, yeah, I feel good.
But you feel like a lot more like calm and relaxed and less reactive.
So much more calm, relaxed. Like I feel like I had multiple situations come up in the past week where that would have been kind of not triggering, but like a little stressful to me. and anxiety inducing, but I was like, oh, okay, no worries. Like, let's just pivot. I was like, wow.
Look at you, starting to shift. Yeah.
I know. And I also had a session with my therapist yesterday, and I was like, I still want to work with you, but I feel like now during our sessions, I can actually start just healing my trauma and like talking about those things because I'm not so caught up emotionally about what happened 2 days ago. Now I can start talking about like things that I should
Interesting. So a lot of your
focus on.
sessions were around like, this just happened. I need to figure out what to do
Yes,
now.
because my mind just like is freaking out over something
Interesting.
all the time. I was so insane. I would like talk to myself in the car because my mind is so crazy that I'm like having conversations with myself in the car because my mind will not shut up. Sleeping was terrible, nonstop. So it was like snowboarding was the most chill time for me
Right.
because I could just focus on snowboarding.
You're in the zone.
But the minute I got out of it, oh my gosh.
Wow. And so now what I'm hearing you say is when you meet with your therapist, you can actually go back to the root of what's causing the stress or where the trigger lies or wherever the wound is, emotionally or psychologically, right?
Yeah, because I was going to my therapist already triggered.
You're like, I just had this happen today. Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with this. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm really excited about that.
So you haven't unpacked what that kind of deeper root cause is yet.
No.
It's just now starting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Because this is where, I mean, it sounds like you've done a lot of work to get here in the last couple of years. And I encourage you to keep diving deep because can be terrifying and scary.
Yeah.
But I used to have chest pain for years, like a sharp chest pain. And I used to feel like someone was choking me.
Oh my gosh.
Just because of the psychological and emotional wounds that I was holding on to from the past. And I remember after going deeper and deeper into therapy, I got to a place where I could finally like heal my heart. As weird as this sounds, like the pain in a moment, it like all made sense in my nervous system where the pain went away. And I felt free for the first time in my life.
Wow, that's amazing.
The first time, this is about 4 or 5 years ago.
And how long did that process take?
I mean, I've been doing different therapy. So, I mean, I'm 43 now. So I started when I was 30, kind of going to workshops and doing therapy. I did that for maybe a year, 2 years, and it really helped me heal a lot. I mean, I went through a lot of stuff as well. But then I maybe didn't go back for many years because I felt like a lot better. But then new things came up from a different relationship that triggered me. And I was like, oh, there's still more inside of me that's holding me back. And why do I have this pain? And why is this going on? So I went back again and I felt like, and it doesn't mean every day is perfect. I still get like frustrated, but I don't hold on to the pain.
Yeah.
I still can get triggered and reactive, but I don't explode like I did 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
So I react in different ways. I catch myself much faster and I typically respond a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I shouldn't have done that anymore. Whereas in the past I was like, I really need to apologize for what I said or how I reacted.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, okay, I just didn't feel good, but I learned to respond with more peace. Or I learned to like pause and not say anything until I was ready. Or I didn't send that email from her anger. I slept on it and then I edited it and then I sent that email. It's learning, I guess, the psychological and emotional tools.
Damn, you were sending off heated emails?
I mean, text, emails, all sorts of stuff probably. I mean, I can't remember half this stuff, but it's like I got into fist fights, playing basketball games in West Hollywood, probably right near where you train.
Yeah.
I was in the basketball court 13 years ago and I got a fist fight for just being triggered by a guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like explosive. And so I've had to learn how to heal, but it's all coming from a root cause of like the wounds.
Yeah, totally.
And, you had different wounds. I had wounds. Everyone's got wounds. But it's learning how to mend those wounds have given me a lot of peace.
Absolutely.
And then it's also refreshing and staying in that process of healing as it's an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
It's just like I could easily fall back into it if I'm not practicing. And so that's why I'm really excited to hear this about you, because I think a lot of people might see you and say, Chloe's got it all figured out. She's a world champion. She's the greatest of all time. She's got it put together. She's got the great relationship. She's in fashion week. She's doing all the cool things. But to hear you speak about this,
it's all a facade.
Wow, it's not a facade. It's a part of what you've created. But what I'm hearing you say This is the stuff I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
Because I think so many people hearing this, it gives them permission to say, oh, okay, if I've got some triggers, it's okay for me to go and look into it. And it's not something I have to be ashamed of. It's something I can be excited about figuring out how to respond differently. And so I'm really excited that you're sharing this.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing.
Of
Wow,
course.
look at us. You deserve one of these. Look at
But
us.
I just think it's, as an athlete, I grew up playing sports and I played arena football, so I was never good as your boyfriend. But I played arena football and I was a decathlete.
Oh, wow.
And I'm currently, I was on the USA.
Wait, that's intense.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my own sports journey.
Wow.
And I love your advice as well. I don't know if you see this over here. There's a handball. I've been on the USA national team for team handball for almost a decade. So I'm still pursuing my Olympic dream in LA 2028. And I haven't been on the USA team in about 5 years, but I played for almost a decade with the team. So I'm trying to get back into the USA national team
my gosh,
to go to the Olympics here in LA in 2.5 years. And it's my own journey because most of the athletes are 23 years old. I'm 43. So I'm 20 years older than most of the athletes. So I've got my own challenges that I'm facing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And at this age, it's not about training 10 hours a day and going the extra mile. It's actually about doing the bare minimum at the highest level as possible so I can recover more, right?
Right.
And so I'm curious, and I really believe the emotional healing has given me the longevity as an athlete as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious your advice for me as an athlete trying to pursue the Olympic dream, where there's no guarantee for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be my last chance, LA 2028. What advice do you have for me as I've been pursuing this for 16 years, being on and off the USA national team?
Yeah.
And I'm still pursuing it at this season of life. Any advice you have for me with all the experience, wisdom, and success you have as an Olympian?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I can't give you advice on this, because what you're doing is so incredible,
Thank you.
And
There's no guarantees I'm going to make the team.
Yeah, but I don't think that matters. I think what matters right now is that when you are working so hard to accomplish this dream of yours, I think that's incredible in itself. I think the only thing I would say maybe is to not compare yourself to anybody. You truly don't know what's going on. It maybe isn't all glitz and glamour. As we're learning about ourselves, just do what you do best. There's only one you, and just because you're a little bit older than everyone else doesn't mean that you won't be able to accomplish it. I think at the end of the day, hard work beats talent, and it sounds like you're working pretty damn hard.
Working hard. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you've already won.
That's the goal. But how do you not, what advice would you give to me or someone pursuing a goal or a dream in life, whether it's the Olympics or anything else? How do you focus on the process without thinking about the prize of whether it's the medal, the team, the money, the relationship? How do you focus on the process, even though you have the goal in mind, but not being attached to the outcome?
Control what you can control. The things you can control, you can work hard, you can be disciplined, you can, be mindful about your recovery, invest in yourself. Though it may seem selfish in the beginning, it's not. I think investing in yourself is the greatest gift that you could give yourself. I think set little goals. And I think it makes the journey much more exciting than dreadful.
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to look 2, 5, 10 years into the future and being like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I'm not good enough yet. I don't know if I'll be healthy. I don't know what my life is going to look like, that I'm scared. My therapist tells me that humans are naturally scared of the unknown. So that anxiety, the fear, the doubt is so natural and normal. But at the end of the day, if you set small goals for yourself, control what you can control, I feel like you're going to look up one day and be exactly where you wanted to be. Yeah.
It's so interesting now we're talking and you're saying this to me. that you were actually a part of my Olympic journey dream, because 2 years ago, I hadn't played in 4 years because I got injured. I hurt my Achilles.
Oh.
So I was playing up until about 2020. And then COVID happened. I was going through a breakup. I hurt my Achilles. And I was like, maybe I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this Olympic dream is over. And then a couple years go by and I start recovering. And I actually call Vinny and I say, Vinny, this dream is still alive, this Olympic dream. I go, can you help me? Give me a game plan and work with me. And he goes, connect with Roy, come in here, come into Mild Detox. I'll work on you, connect with Roy. And so I started training with Roy. And probably, I don't know, 6 months after that, I meet you and I see you in there. And he's like, yeah, Chloe's in here and she's working on her stuff. And so you're actually a part of my Olympic journey. It's inspiring me when we were in the gym together. And it's kind of cool, 2 years later now, we're talking about this and there's 2 more years to go for this journey for me. But
I'm so excited
yeah,
for you.
it's cool. I'm curious about, you mentioned like this doubt again. And I've got a few more questions for you, but you mentioned about this doubt. How do a lot of people tie their self-worth with their performance and the results.
Mm-hmm.
How have you learned to not tie your inner self-worth with the results of Olympic gold or success?
Mm-hmm. I think you just have to be present.
Mm-hmm.
I think we accomplish so many great things on a day-to-day basis, whether it be getting up in the morning, taking care of ourselves, spending time with our loved ones, whatever that may be. I think that it's so, again, easy to look at other people's lives and compare yourselves and maybe wish that that were yours. But I always think that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And like, I think awards and all of that are great. It's instant gratification. You're standing at the top of the podium, you're walking away with this big trophy. But as somebody who's experienced it multiple times, I would say that at the end of the day, it never, after the first,
The first gold medal?
it doesn't hit the same.
Really?
Yeah. And I think I wish that I had celebrated maybe like my smaller wins. And maybe if I had done that, all my wins would have meant a bit more.
Did you ever celebrate the wins or did you just kind of like on to the next?
It was always on to the next.
Really?
Yes. Like after my first gold, I started prepping for my next competition. And it was a little hectic because I had to do a bunch of press after the Olympics. And like, even after my first X Games medal when I was 13, I was like the youngest to get a medal. It was just straight to the next. I went to, Switzerland in my next event. Like I never took a moment to celebrate my wins.
Do you even have like dinner afterwards and say, okay, let's celebrate this and have a moment? Or is it more of like...
Yeah, but I feel like I also I am more of an introvert. I just want to lay in bed. I'm tired. I'm overstimulated. I just want to lay down. But I also think that my mindset was a bit messed up because I always felt like every time I was on the podium, I was like, well, yeah, that's why I should be.
I'm meant to be here.
I'm meant to be here. Like I have to be here. And that was really hard for me. And I experienced that for over 10 years. I was like, yeah, well, I felt like if I didn't win, that was a problem. Then I did bad if I didn't win. And that was something I had to talk my way out of.
Like mental talk. Yeah.
Because it became so toxic and I didn't like the way it made me feel.
How'd you learn to talk? What did you say to talk yourself out of that? Or what did you think?
I think that, I don't know if I really had to. I think it was more of a shift in perspective where I recognize that I love all the girls I compete with. And I'm so happy for them. And genuinely I am. And I'm not saying like I would be bummed if I didn't win. I've gotten like, yes, I've won a lot, but I've also not won a lot. And at the end of the day, I'm so happy for all the girls. And I think it had to happen to me once where, I had a winning streak and then like one of my good friends took the gold. And I genuinely was so happy for her because in that moment, I was like, dude, we train together.
This is her dream also.
Yes, like you are working your butt off just like I am. I've seen her get injured, like I've seen her come back stronger. I've seen her name's Coralt. She's Spanish. I love her to death.
Wow.
But she kind of broke this winning streak I had. And I was like, I am so happy for you. And I think once I experienced that, it's like, okay, yeah, this is fine. This is great because I do love them. I just think I needed to experience it to form an opinion on it.
Because you hadn't lost in like years, probably.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm 8 years in. I haven't lost.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you took, I mean, and you probably got second or third or something, I'm assuming. So it wasn't like, oh, but what did losing teach you about your life?
Well, one, I don't think you could ever call it losing.
Right.
And that's something you have to learn, teach yourself too as you navigate this, because there's no such thing as losing. I think it's such an easy thing to say and an easy way to describe something that is complex, so it's almost unfair. So I think, not winning a gold doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you showed up. You still showed up. And you still got there and you still went out there and gave it your all. And I think that alone is winning. I think that's the whole point of sport, is showing up, even in moments of doubt, even in moments of just hardship and struggling and all of that. There are so many moments where I'm like, I don't know if I could make it to tomorrow. I don't know if I can show up tomorrow. I don't know if I have it in me. I had such a hard day today. I suck. Like, I'm scared I'm not going to do well in my competition tomorrow. And if you remove yourself from it, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm so grateful for all the experiences I've had because, again, there's so many lessons I've learned through snowboarding that I would have learned so much later down the line in life, that I'm at an advantage in life. I feel like now I'm in this place where I'm turning 26 this year and I feel like I have 60 years of wisdom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And I'm sure you've experienced that too through sport, right?
I mean, sports taught me everything. Well, I mean, I didn't do well in school. I was like bottom of my class and I couldn't pay attention, so sports was my outlet. It's where I learned all my lessons.
Yeah.
And it's taught me so much. I wouldn't be where I am without sports.
Exactly.
But what I'm hearing you say, there is no losing. It's either you win or you learn.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm hearing you say. It's like you're learning about how you showed up. I think that's really cool. And I'm really grateful for you showing up, Chloe. I've got 2 final questions. That's okay. Before I ask you the final questions, is there any question you wish people asked you more?
Is this one of the final questions?
No, it's not. It's not. It's just.
I don't think so. I think, I really appreciate people's curiosity towards me. I really do appreciate it. I think wanting to be known is to be loved. So, if you see me, obviously, unless you're asking me like a genuinely stupid question that is stupid, I feel like I could sense that. Or if you want to joke with me, no worries. Like, I'll laugh along, whatever. But if people see me out and about, I want them to ask away. I feel like I love sharing whatever I can. I would love if people could learn a little something from me. It doesn't have to be much, whatever, whether it be like the type of blush I use to my mindset going into the competition, whatever you need from me, cool. I got you. Yeah.
Well, in some other interview, they can ask you about the blush you use. I'm going to go about the mindset. You got other platforms for that.
I do.
For me, I'm fascinated about mindset. And for me, it's like you are the best in the world at what you do. And this is the school of greatness, not the school of average. So it's about understanding the way you think, the way you feel, how you respond. And I'm grateful that you're opening up about the things you're learning at this season of life with all the success you have, knowing there's deeper levels of peace and prosperity and abundance in you. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So thank you for sharing that. This is a question, the final 2 questions. Before I ask them, I want people to follow you on social media. Chloe Kim on Instagram and all the different places. You're on a media run right now. You're still in the Olympic season. Yes. So again, I want people to watch all your stuff and check you out on social media and see what you're up to. Is there anywhere else we should send people to follow you or to be a part of your platforms?
What's so funny is I am so bad on social media. I got social media a lot later than my friends did.
Just your parents won't let you, or there was that?
I just had no interest.
You're like, I just want to snowboard.
Yeah, and I was also the kid that, growing up, I have 2 sisters. They're my half sisters, and I only say that because there's a quite a big age gap, 10 and 15 years.
Uh-huh.
So while they're watching TV in the house, like I was digging up isopods in the front yard, like trying to find bugs and like,
Uh-huh.
finding little spiders and
That's
stuff.
cool.
I just liked being outside more.
It's great.
So I actually got social media out of necessity because it was when I was 13 and had just qualified for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't go, and everyone was like, you need to get Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
that's where things are going.
Yeah.
But I'm trying. But also, like, don't be surprised if in 5 years my Instagram's completely gone and I'm on a ranch somewhere living my best life. That's
good.
my dream.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This question is something I ask everyone at the end. It's called the 3 truths. So it's a hypothetical question. Imagine you get to live as long as you want to live on this earth, and you're as old as you want to be. And you get to create and experience and accomplish all of your wildest dreams from this moment until that day.
Uh-huh.
And maybe that's you living on a ranch for the rest of your life. I don't know.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, it's the end of your life. And for whatever reason, everything you've shared, this conversation, all the videos you've ever made are gone.
Uh-huh.
This hypothetical world. But on the last day, you get to leave behind 3 lessons, 3 truths that you feel are true to you from your experiences that you would share with people. And this is all we would have of your lessons and your content. What would those 3 truths or 3 lessons be for you?
I feel like on my PR ones, I were like, be kind, be grateful,
Mm-hmm. But what's really inside of you though?
Well, I think 3 might take me a while, but the first one that jumped at me was keep learning.
Mm.
And I only say this because my dad is 70. He's currently in Japan going to culinary school.
That's cool.
And my dad is also learning Japanese.
Wow.
And he is walking to his classes every day. It's a 2-mile walk. And he just has always had such a curious mind and just this need for knowledge. And I think he's really inspired me to just, no matter how old you are, you can always try something, learn something, experience something new for the first time.
That's cool.
So chills, right? He's awesome. I'll show you a picture of him in his school uniform. He looks so cute.
That's cool. Yeah, please do. Keep learning would be your first truth.
Yes. My second truth, take care of yourself. Kind of a broader lesson, but whatever that means to you. For me, taking care of myself is putting myself first. I will always do my best to achieve my dreams, my hopes, my ambitions. And taking care of myself also means to show up for others, because that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I love being the supportive character in one's life. So
that's cool.
That's a big part of it. Third, have fun. Honestly, have fun. Just have fun. Live your best life. I know this is so cliche, but I guess when I was a teenager, everyone was like, YOLO, YOLO, you only live once. But you do only live once.
That's true.
Enjoy it.
That's cool.
And I think these days, whenever I'm going through a difficult time, I try to think about things that I'm grateful for, things that make me happy. I am surrounded by the most incredible people. I feel like I have such a great support system. If I'm having a bad day, I'll call Miles and we'll play games together, and that cheers me up. Or call my best friends. They'll always cheer me up, sharing funny stories. I think the goal is always to start my day with a smile and end it with one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's what I strive for.
I
don't know if those are good lessons. I'm
it's powerful. Yeah. And maybe at the end of your life, you'll have different ones, but I think those are 3 great ones.
I know. Should we meet back here in 30 years?
Yeah. Sooner than that. Yeah. Sooner than that, you'll be back here. Yeah.
Update.
Exactly. We'll do an update in a few years. Before I ask the final question, Chloe, I want to acknowledge you, because for me, I'm always trying to find people to bring on here who can share unique experiences of life. And you have such a unique experience. And I just think you have a fascinating mindset. The way you analyze how you live your life, I know you're laughing, but for me, it's like most people never have access to this type of information. And I haven't seen you share this much on how you think about pressure, performance, overcoming challenges, therapy, healing, psychology, all in one place. Maybe there's little different things around, but so for me, this is like a masterclass of understanding your mindset of how to live the best life possible
Does
for
it make
yourself.
sense?
For me, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it does. No, for me, it does. But it's like, I've been asking these questions for people for 13 years on this every week. So I think it's fascinating because and from this conversation, I've learned that for most of your life, you were driven to accomplish and achieve at the highest level. And in some ways, it came easily for you because you were talented, but it became easily because you were obsessed with like going all in and visualizing and rehearsing in your mind and seeing an idea and saying all night, how can I make this happen tomorrow? And then doing it and acting on that for 20 years, essentially almost, So for me, that level of commitment to accomplishing a dream is really inspiring. But then also on the other side saying, oh, okay, I also recognize there are certain parts of me that I don't like right now, or maybe I didn't like a couple of years ago. And so how can I become better at those things as well? How can I use what I learned in sports for myself? I think that's beautiful. How can I be a better human, a better friend, a better partner, all these different things, a better daughter? It's like, and how can you show up for yourself first at this season? So I think it's really beautiful. I think it's inspiring, and I hope a lot of people get value from your lessons.
Thank you.
And I just think, again, this is a masterclass that you've shared here on the School of Greatness. So I'm grateful. And I acknowledge you for opening up and for being real and authentic and showing us a little bit more behind the way you think, because I think a lot of people, it will help them understand their own life by understanding yours. So,
I hope so.
Yeah. And hopefully we get you back on in a few years and you can give us more lessons about healing and therapy and all the things you learned.
Yeah, I love yapping.
Perfect.
To talk.
Just like your dad, right? It's
Yeah,
just like your dad.
Exactly. But I'm like introverted.
I know. Yeah.
But I like yapping.
You like it, yeah.
I'm like a shy yapper.
I like it. I like a shy yapper. # shy yapping. Final question, Chloe. What is your definition of greatness?
My definition of greatness? Me, myself, and I. It's so funny. Me, myself, and I think, yeah, I'm great. I bet I deserve it,
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think there's no greater feeling than accomplishing everything you've wanted and more. But then it's funny because I want more than that too. There's so many other things I want to be great at. So I feel like definition of greatness to me today is going to shift, and I'm going to be achieving like the best version of myself, in like whatever journey I decide to go on next. But I'm pretty good, right? I'm going to sit in my greatness for a couple, maybe a little bit more.
Let's go.
And then I'll think about the next definition.
I love it.
But yeah, everyone's great. You're great.
Yeah. Awesome. Chloe, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Most people really believe they're going to change their lives with their own personal will. It will make you great to a certain extent, but you will plateau at a certain level. You'll be dissatisfied, you'll be bored, you'll be frustrated. There's nothing wrong with it. Name a legend who didn't have a legendary